For Elise Dowden, this moment has been 2 years in the making. She, along with a team of volunteers, is attaching orchid seedlings to an oak tree in Coral Gables, near downtown Miami. It's the first batch of the critically endangered flowers to be planted as part of an ambitious effort to resurrect orchid populations across South Florida, where decades of urban expansion have almost wiped them out. To do that, Carl Lewis, the director of the Fairchild Botanical Garden, says he and his team will need to germinate, carefully nurture, and attach 1 million of the tiny plants to trees over the next 5 years.
South Florida has about 50 native orchid species, which is more than any other region of the United States. Most of those orchids are very difficult to find now. They've been hunted almost to extinction in the wild. So really we launched this project just as an effort to bring those orchids back.
That effort starts here in Lewis's lab, where seeds the size of a speck of dust are placed in sterile bottles filled with nutrients that trigger the plants to start germinating. After a couple of months, the plants need to be separated and placed in a second set of bottles for incubation under LED lights. Once the seedlings sprout enough roots, they are moved to the nursery, the first stage of their lives outside of bottles. In total, the process can take 2 years for these fragile plants to mature to the point where they're ready to be attached to trees.
We'd like to get these up to a critical mass where they can reproduce on their own. Right now the populations have been brought down to such catastrophically low levels that there's really no hope that they'll bring their numbers back on their own. This is supposed to be an infusion just to get so many out there that they start to reproduce on their own.
Lewis says he hopes these new orchids, which will take 5 years to reach maturity once attached to trees, will turn back time on the ecology of South Florida, attracting insects and microorganisms that haven't been part of the local ecosystem in decades. He says it's painstaking work, but that he and his team are up for the challenge and will continue to bring orchids back to Florida, one seedling at a time.